Epic Games CEO. Oh, speaking of Apple, yeah, man, I seen this. This thing has been percolating on social media. Mm-hmm. This new information regarding how Apple is going to be scanning information in your iCloud. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's first of all, it's photos that you back up to iCloud, and it's part of this initiative for sensitive material involving what they call what CSAM, mm-hmm. and that's like child abuse material,
right?
And in order, they have this sophisticated system. I'm just to do a brief breakdown. They have a sophisticated system in place with the aim being to apply a particular hash to known material of that type, which would then scan that hash against your own inventory of photos to see if you are personally in possession of such a thing. And if a certain number of hashes match up, then the authorities would be alerted that you are potentially a mm-hmm. predator or whatever. Controversial because Apple has kind of built itself up as this privacy advocate, mm-hmm. made such a big deal of personal privacy, how no one's looking at your stuff, everything's encrypted. The only way in this case that your material would be viewed and examined by a human being would be is if you had enough matches to trigger a human review. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter because you know what happens. You know how the story goes. At first, every reasonable person says, well, that sounds like a problem. The idea that this material here is living on Apple's servers, mm-hmm. right? This sounds like a problem. If there's anything that could be done to track down the individuals who trade in such materials, we would want to do that. But then you got the likes of Sweeney and plenty of others that say, hey, it's a gateway. Hey, this is now, you are creating technologies that may be designed at this point to be used in this very specific manner, which could be later applied to other circumstances that you may not agree with.
Yes.
From a moral standpoint.
Would it be safe to say that they're building a back door? Potentially that can be exploited by not only them, but other
Well, the question becomes,
people.
Because Apple is a global business, they do business in a number of different regions. Mm-hmm. And the question becomes, with any tool that's this powerful, because you had Snowden talking about it, and mm-hmm. any tool that's so powerful that it can, and I know a lot of people said, wait, you can turn off iCloud. You don't have to put your photos there if you don't want to partake in something like this. But most people do, or a lot of people use that service. And you're building out a system here that can very effectively and efficiently scan a person's content against other known content, period. You mm-hmm. could train that system against whatever content you wanted and then apply those hashes to it. So in this case, we're talking about really terrible material involving children, but the privacy advocates and, well, the argument now is not around that subject matter, but instead, hey, what if at a later date some other foreign government said, hey, here's a photo right here, Apple. We want this thing scanned off everybody. We want to know who has this particular photo in their iCloud right now. Uh-huh. And they said, otherwise, you're booted out of this country.
Right.
I'm just creating a scenario. I'm not saying that that's happening.
Hey, it could happen.
And then you question, what is Apple's position at that point? Let's say it was political content. Mm-hmm. Let's say it was content relative to some event that a government somewhere didn't like and wanted to suppress, but the people were trying to, I'm just talking, man. I'm just presenting the alternative point of view. I think it's a real sticky one. I do not think it's a straightforward thing on this. I can understand why Apple and other companies would want systems in place to help identifying this stuff, and why as a society we would want to identify this stuff. I understand the incentive, mm-hmm. but these technologies are so powerful and so far reaching that you kind of have to also allow for the conversation to take place about how these types of tools, how this type of power could be used in other ways. It's just part of the conversation, man. Technology is very powerful.
For sure.
It's part of the conversation, man.